You guys have had a couple of practices since that crazy game 4. What's sort of the message going into this weekend?
Just business as usual. We believe in what we do. The guys believe in how we practice, how we go about our business, and you look at film and you show them a few things that we can do better, or that we can try to take advantage of against Syracuse. You work on a few of those things, but basically it's practice as usual.
Brett Murray's insertion, he scores the overtime goal, but it's more than that, right?
Well, yeah, look at the opening faceoff. Had a stick singing contest with Morella, one of their best players, and just, kind of setting a tone for us more than anything, our team, his teammates, that, we're here to mean business tonight. He's one of our most physical players, our biggest body, he's one of our highest scorers, he's our best puck protector. So, our ozone time that game was dramatically higher than it was in any of the first 3 games. And when you spend more time in your ozone, good things can happen, and also you're spending less time in your D zone then. So, that's not all because of Brett Murray. We did some things better that night offensively, but Brett had a big impact on those things.
You talk about putting pressure on the ozone. As a result, the other team's defense is going to be worn down, especially with those born battles and stuff. We talked about how good Syracuse is defensively. Was that by design to kind of work and grind them down? And they looked a little sluggish during the third.
Well, I don't know. I'm not going to judge our opponent. I don't. You look at things that you can try to take advantage of and everything, but I don't coach their team, so I'm not going to judge their team. I thought that the third period scoring early was paramount, right? And obviously the first shift was a bonus, but we talked about that in between periods. That we didn't need to get one the first 5 or 6 minutes. It gives us life and hope, and it puts potential doubt in their mind. So that was big, and I think we did a really good job forechecking in the third period to give us chances to be in the ozone more.
Even after the first 2 periods, we talked earlier in the week, you said you thought you played 34, 36 good minutes through the first 2 periods. If you're looking at the things you did wrong, what would you have to change for game 5?
Well, I thought we gave them their 3 goals. We're pretty... Credit to them, they have a very good team. I think I've said it over and over how much I respect their team and how good I think they are. But I think a couple of our defensive miscues on the first 3 goals are plays that we just can't have. Just really, really poor defensive mistakes by some of our guys.
Looking at Devin Levi specifically, how has having a playoff run like this one, in your eyes, in your opinion, helped? What kind of value has he gained or confidence through that?
Well, hopefully it's longer, and he can gain a lot more. But I think that all of the experiences you go through, success or failure as a young athlete or a young person, they just help shape you. You grow from them. You grow from adversity and failure. You grow from success and learning about yourself. And, he's played very good. And realistically, the 2 games there, it was basically 3 games for our whole team, because it was, double overtime one game and overtime the next. So it was 9 periods of hockey under high stress situations that he needed to perform. And he was excellent in game 3. And then in game 4, I think the key thing for him, and he can gain a lot of confidence from this, is we talked going into the third, the key to the comeback was, number 1, getting the first goal early, but the second thing was having to keep them at 3. They needed to stay. We needed to keep them at 3, and we talked about that. If we keep them at 3, we can win this game. If they get another 1 or 2, it's over. And so there's a lot of pressure on him to help keep that at 3, and obviously he shut the door there and gave us a chance for the comeback.
What did you notice about his demeanor in those games with no margin for error? He's a guy that told us to talk about the next puck. It seems like he stays even keeled. Just watching him up close for almost 3 games, that type of situation. What do you notice?
I guess I'd say there's no difference. Yeah, he prepares every day like it's the biggest day of his season. That's just how he goes about his business. Takes care of himself off the ice, spends a lot of time here taking care of his body, spends a lot of time on the ice before and after practice working on his game. And then I think what he does really well then, and those are things, I don't talk to him about goaltending, I talk to him about mindset and managing the game, things like that. And, something he and I've talked about is being present, and that's something he's done really good here because he's had a lot of situations here, situations where he's in a game and he probably assumes he's maybe going up after that game. It'd be a really easy game to not play good here. And he did, or playing the game the day after coming back from a couple weeks up in Buffalo. All of those things, you can only be successful if you're in the present moment. And all of those situations then help him in big playoff games and just staying present, staying in the moment, and worrying about the next save.
Game 5, big pressure situation, one you guys have dealt with the past couple of years and had success. A lot of your team has, had some carryover there. How does that give you confidence that you guys can, kind of remain present in the moment there?
Yeah, I feel good about how we'll play. That doesn't guarantee victory. Hockey is a funny sport that way, and you can play great and lose, and you can sometimes play average and win. But I think that what this group has earned from each other, this particular group this year, but then some of our guys that have carried over the last couple of years, is that adversity doesn't break us, and that we're going to be there for each other. We're a resilient group. We're not going to give up on each other. And we've had our backs against the wall and responded. And we've been in elimination games and responded. And what happens then is you just gain a shared belief in each other that's earned through not giving up each other during hard times.
Already sell out crowd for Friday. Obviously, it's a big boost. How do you kind of quantify exactly what a big home crowd can do in a game like this?
Yeah, first of all, great job by our marketing, ticketing, PR team to sell this out this early, right? This is Wednesday morning. It was sold out. That's incredibly impressive. And we have a great front office staff. We have an amazing fan base, and we're incredibly grateful for both of those things. So how do you utilize a big base like that, a big fan base is, you want to bring them into the fight early in the game and get them loud and get them ornery and get them rambunctious as a crowd. And there's a lot of ways to do that in hockey, but that would be nice if we find a way to bring the crowd into the game early on.
Brett scores in overtime, and he scored a prototypical goal. Was that him at his best when he does best?
Yeah. Yes. And that's right. Syracuse is got a very big decor, and so we don't have as many bigger forwards. So to get another guy, Mersch is really good there. Wahlberg wants to go there. We have a lot of guys that go there, but so to get another guy that is elite at the front of the net, that it just creates havoc. It wasn't just that goal. He had other screens and other situations that almost went in. There's another 3 or 4 that he was involved in at the front of the net that almost went in. And it's not just about scoring those goals. It's stuff we talk about all the time. Sometimes it's about making the goaltender uncomfortable because he's got a big imposing body in front of him. And maybe there's 5, 6, 10 shots in the game that he doesn't see that don't even go in. And that starts to maybe get in the goalie's mind. I'm not seeing the puck as well tonight. The game's hard tonight. All of those things add up over time. And eventually, obviously, he gets rewarded with the game winner right in the blue paint.
What has he developed into? I'm going to ask you about that here, about him a year or two ago. Like now he's the longest tenured guy, and he's still got to play NHL this year. Like, what does he become? Where does he have his career?
Yeah, I'm just incredibly proud of Brett Murray, the player he's turned himself into, and the leader he's turned himself into. I don't think that, when we got here, when I was hired, he wasn't even on an NHL contract. And he certainly wasn't viewed as a leader in our organization. And through an amazing amount of work and honing in on the things that he can be great at, being a power forward with skill instead of being a big body that's a skilled player. And there's a difference in that. And the difference is the price you pay physically. And it's easy to ask me to do for me to ask him to do some of those things. Like go to the front of the net and take 10 cross checks, be more physical, to stick up for your teammates and fight more often. Like that's easy for me to ask him to do. He's got to be the guy that does it. And he does it. He does it over and over. And he's turned himself into a great player. A guy that's been in the NHL, a guy that's fighting to try to be there all the time, and he's turned himself into a critical leader for us here in Rochester.
What's it about Noah? You've been around now a month every day. Just what's stood out?
Aslan?
Yes.
Aslan's skill, intelligence is incredibly high. He's really good with the puck on his stick, very comfortable with the puck on his stick, and his hockey intelligence and his vision are extremely high.
Well, for a young guy like him, just, you said it last game, is it sometimes important just to take a step back?
Yeah, I think, number one, when you're coming over here from a long year in Sweden and the World Juniors, and then you come to North America and you're stepping right into the last couple games of the season where the division standings are on the line, and then into a playoff series against Syracuse, that's a lot. And I thought he's handled it really well. And he's not out. He wasn't out of the lineup in Game 4 because we don't like how he played or because he's not a great prospect for us. He is. The style of game that Syracuse plays, the ice conditions in Syracuse, don't lend itself to, more skill. We needed to put as much size and grit and physicality into our lineup as possible.
In his hockey sense, like everyone raves about it, what did you notice about his hockey sense? What do you think's the game?
His hockey sense is extremely high, both offensively and defensively. Game 3, I have zero issue. Like, he's on the ice in overtime. He's on the ice in double overtime. He's on the ice late in games. You're a young player that hasn't been here long. Those are moments you put guys on the ice that you trust. And that's hard to do as a young player. And trust is earned a lot of times, through good habits and good hockey sense, because he can solve the problems on the ice that he encounters.
I know you were generating some chances in Game 3 in Syracuse, especially Game 1 and 2, period 1 and 2 in Game 4. But that was a lengthy scoring drought before things changed in the third period. What did you kind of identify as maybe the problems to start out in Syracuse, and how do you kind of, fix that for Game 5?
No comment. Not going to talk about our game plan or strategy. So, but some of it is spending more time in the offensive zone. So how do you do that? You break the puck out better and you forecheck better. So that's where it starts. And then after that, there's a few things that we think we can do. But they're a really good defensive team. They are a really, really good defensive team. And offense is earned against them. There's nothing free. You have to earn your offense against them.
When Anton, I think it was Anton, maybe made a little miscue on the winning goal on Thursday.
Yes.
Just how do you, obviously the mistake of aggression maybe, but how do you handle that, after that, I guess?
I had Vinny talk to him. And every situation is different, and every player is different, how we handle it. What I thought I think Anton's played very well. I think he's played very well in the games of the regular season. I think he's played very well in this series. And he made a young, immature decision. And so, I think it's important to then take a step back on the day off, look at some of the errors that you made, not just that play, but in other situations of the game. And then Vinny's lived it, right? He's lived it coming over here as a young European player, 18 years old, playing in a hard American league, going through adversity, all those things. And for me, I just felt it was probably more appropriate at the time for Vinny to talk to him and put him in the best frame of mind to go have success in Game 4.